Let's watch Donald Trump shock the world and many Republicans and win the 2016 nomination. Here we go. This is January 2015.
Regrets.
You can't let Donald go without hitting him up on the news. What about a run at the White House?
I'll be making a decision as to whether or not I'll run for president in the very near future.
And the new multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
And they just kind of brush over it, but now we'll move ahead a little bit. The famous escalator speech, we're only going to show about 10 seconds.
The billionaire businessman Donald Trump made it official today, never shy or modest about why he's running.
I don't need anybody's money. I'm using my own money. I'm not using the lobbyists. I'm not using donors. I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
As soon as Trump officially announced, he started to be mocked online by a ton of people. This clip is actually from before he officially announced, but then we'll move on to some other ones.
Last week, he confirmed to the National Review that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
Of all the left-wing hosts, by the way, John Oliver is the worst one. That's my opinion. He stinks.
Hey, here we are. And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump. I especially like
what about
the idea of Trump being president was literally a joke to tons of people that think they're important back in 2015. Literally a joke. Listen to that laughter. That is completely involuntary, just howling with laughter at the idea that Trump would be president.
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump.
Those screeches from the crowd, that's not fake laughter. When Trump entered the race, he actually was not initially at the top of the polls. For a little bit, it was Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush kind of became Trump's first opponent in the Republican primary.
You know, I had an expression which I really felt that was, you know, I talked about a low-energy individual. And I feel he's a very low-energy individual. And if you're dealing with China, these people send in fierce, fierce negotiators. These are fierce people. And, you know,
this is like a sports show. I'm pretty sure I was not even aware Trump did this interview. Trump also sparred regularly with Jeb Bush on the debate stage.
Ever ready. It's very high energy, Donald. Mr. Trump?
Kind of a lighthearted moment.
This is a tough business to run for president.
I know. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is
real
principled.
tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see. I'm at 42 and you're at 3, so
Doesn't matter.
far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This doesn't do a thing to solve the problem.
One at a time.
So as Trump mentioned there, Jeb Bush, as the race went on, was no longer his primary opponent. It kind of shifted from Jeb Bush, maybe even Ben Carson at the beginning, to Ted Cruz, and then Marco Rubio as well. But as the Republican primary waged on, many commentators weighed in.
Conundrum, right? Donald Trump loses not only to Hillary Clinton in general election matchups, he would lose to Bernie Sanders if he made it.
He loses to Clinton in general election matchups? Really?
Saying, as president, he shouldn't be doing rallies, but I think we should, right? Yeah.
To the general election. But Republican voters do not care. They want their Donald Trump. He's the only top-tier Republican candidate who loses by double digits, not only to Hillary Clinton, but also to Bernie Sanders.
Well, I just had the opportunity to have an excellent conversation with President-elect Trump.
But Republican
Oh, now he loses by double digits.
Voters want him anyway.
Another person Trump was going against in the primary, kind of, because he wasn't doing very good, was John Kasich, who continued to say Trump could not be the president.
To attack Hispanics, Muslims, databases, insults to women. There's no way that Donald Trump's going to be president. I've been saying that for weeks. I don't even take it seriously because he isn't going to win. It's not going to happen.
And with so much conviction, too, the funniest thing about the Trump will not win statements, the confidence, just the delusional confidence. This will definitely never happen. It happened. All right, as I said, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio started to be Trump's main opponents in the Republican primary. This is the most entertaining 90 seconds here in debate history. In my opinion, there's not even a close second.
Senator Cruz. I know politicians.
Donald,
I know politicians, believe it or not, better than you do, and it's not good.
Oh, I believe it. No, I believe you know politicians much better than I do, because for 40 years you've been funding liberal Democratic politicians. And by the way,
I funded you.
The
I
reason
funded him.
You're welcome to have the check back.
I funded this guy.
Because let's
I gave
be clear.
him a check.
Yeah, you gave me $5,000.
You never funded me.
And by the way, let's be clear. Donald claims to care
You know why? I didn't
about
want to, but he sent me his book with his autograph.
Donald, I understand rules
Mr.
are very
Trump,
hard
you're
for you.
doing
They're
a great
very
job.
confusing.
I have his book.
Okay,
on your reality
Trump,
TV
you're doing a
show,
great
not
job.
in
Thank you,
Donald.
thank you for the book.
Donald.
Thank you for the book. Go ahead.
Donald, you can get back on your meds
There's a lot of fun
now.
up here tonight, I have to tell you. Thank you for the book. I really appreciate it.
Donald, relax.
Go ahead. I'm relaxed. You're the basket case. Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't get nervous. Go ahead.
I promise you, Donald, there's nothing about you that makes anyone nervous.
You're losing so badly.
Watching this.
You don't know what's happening.
Gentlemen.
Wolf, I'm going to ask that my time not be deducted when he's yelling at me.
That is the best. And again, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Marco Rubio are like three of the best politicians right now. They're obviously all very close now, but that roughly 75, 90 seconds is, I think, the funniest moment I've ever seen on a debate stage. I could watch that probably every day and still laugh. And as the primary wore on, Donald Trump started stacking up victory after victory.
Super Tuesday was a sweeping victory for Donald Trump. Trump claimed big wins in the South, a 22-point margin in Alabama, 14-point victories in Tennessee and Georgia.
A national sweep. Ted Cruz carried Oklahoma in his home state of Texas by a comfortable margin. Marco Rubio got his only victory late in the night in the Minnesota caucuses, 21%.
Overall, Trump came away with the most delegates last night, 210 so far. He is leading the field in the total delegate count with over 100 more delegates than Ted Cruz and nearly triple the amount claimed by Marco Rubio.
As the primary wore on, Trump's opponents started to drop out.
Republican candidate Jeb Bush says he's dropping out of the race to the White House after finishing a distant fourth place in South Carolina.
Breaking news right now. This coming from the campaign trail. Republican candidate Dr. Ben Carson has officially ended his campaign for president.
Ben Carson endorsed Trump shortly after dropping out.
Some people said, well, why would you get behind a man like Donald Trump? I'll tell you why.
Ben Carson, by the way, smart, very accomplished person. I don't think he'd make a great YouTuber. He's so chill in the way he talks. He's great, but I don't know if his YouTube channel would do many views. As the campaign went on, Rubio dropped out.
While it is not God's plan that I be president in 2016 or maybe ever, and while today my campaign is suspended.
Rubio also eventually endorsed Trump.
So we had a very spirited primary. You guys watched it on television and beyond, but as a Republican, I think it's time for Republicans to stop fighting against each other and come together if we want to be victorious in November.
And now he's the Secretary of State. Trump's main opponent in the 2016 primary became Ted Cruz. They had a very intense back and forth at many times. Eventually, Cruz did drop out of the race.
From the beginning, I've said that I would continue on as long as there was a viable path to victory. Tonight, I'm sorry to say, it appears...
And as I said, it was a very intense back and forth between Cruz and Trump. Both, though, are honorable men. Cruz eventually came around and endorsed Trump for 2016.
Presidential race also just happened. Big news for Donald Trump. His former opponent, Ted Cruz, now backs the GOP nominee. Stick around for that.
Strangely enough, it was actually then Ohio Governor John Kasich who was the last person to drop out of the 2016 race. I guess he was, I actually don't even care enough, to be honest, to go back and look. I think he was just hoping that there'd be some kind of contested thing at the convention.
And as I suspend my campaign today, I have renewed faith, deeper faith, that the Lord will show me the way forward.
And I believe even to this day, John Kasich is still like a never Trump Republican. So I actually briefly looked. It looks like John Kasich was hoping at the convention here on screen there'd be some kind of contested thing.
And the rules of this convention: New York, 6 votes Kasich, 89 votes Donald J. Trump.
Donald J. Trump, having received a majority of these votes entitled to be cast at the convention, has been selected as the Republican Party nominee for President of the United States.
It's official.
Even with the nomination wrapped up, Trump still had many haters. Let's see what happened in the 2016 election here, just for fun.
President Obama weighing in, saying yet again that he does not believe that Donald Trump can end up winning this election.
Can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit.
Mr. Trump will not be president.
So Donald Trump will lose, and he will then destroy the Republican Party.
Can Donald Trump win a general election? My view is no.
So, Jenny, could he actually win?
No freaking way!
This means that Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States, winning the most unreal, surreal election we have ever seen. This candidacy starting on an escalator ride 1 year ago and going down against 16 Republican candidates. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality. He said he was always a winner.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated.
And so with that said, I'll finish the video. That is one of the best lines of all time. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. But if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.